You know, Ken, I get a new tractor and it's never more than a year until it gets upgraded and replaced. There's always something better.
And it's outdated, yep.
Our friend Bo here from Kubota is going to show us this new LX series, the 4020, right?
Yeah, so it's the new LX20 series. So yeah, it's a premium tractor that we decided to just make even better and bump up that horsepower too. So 35 horsepower and 40 horsepower now in the LX series.
Yeah, so the previous 10 series they offered in 2610, which you're keeping.
Correct, yep.
And 3310, mine, which you're ditching.
Yeah, well.
You're improving.
I have a nice 35 horsepower for you if you want that as well, yeah.
You know, we could use the cab maybe, I don't know. So what's better? Why should I upgrade?
With the LX series, you know, that's a premium tractor. It's, you know, kind of like our Grand L, which is a little bit bigger, where it's a flagship of our compact line, but, you know, it's the most premium, smaller compact tractor we make. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to just further enhance it even more, right? So with the LX series, I already talked about more power, and you know that's a big thing because it now allows this tractor to be performance matched for just larger implement usage. So big thing like the 40 horsepower, you can now run a 72-inch rear cutter on the back, for example, right? That extra horsepower allows for more power if you have a front snowblower to blow it. So again, make it even better.
Yeah, now I was concerned. I mean, these things whine a lot. The LX that I've got, some other YouTubers I've seen that have the cab version, a big whine in the transmission. Anything about that?
So that was an area that we wanted to look and see what we could do about it. And what we did is we took a good hard look at that HST transmission, and I think the results speak for themselves. So it's a completely redesigned HST transmission with the #1 goal in mind to reduce noise at the operator ear, both in the cab and in the ROPS, and it's significantly quieter. Again, this is a premium tractor, you know, for customers that want the best features and benefits they can in that small size, and I think we've accomplished that.
Okay, so with the change in transmission, are operating speeds changed?
Actually, yeah, operating speeds have increased a little bit as well. So if you're roading it, need to get to different areas. Say you're a municipality for snowblower applications, right? You're blowing off some sidewalks and you get the other side. Quicker, you know, higher range speed to get out there.
What is the max speed?
17 miles per hour.
Okay, that's a big help actually. Even though it's a 3-range transmission, the LX10 series really didn't have very good travel speed on the road.
17 is pretty high.
17 is a good number, yeah.
That's a nice improvement. I see that we've got a quick attach here. I believe you call this part of the Swift Attach kit. This, I would call it a single point connector.
Yeah, so this is the Swift Attach kit. You know, this isn't new to the LX series, but we're carrying it over. So Swift Attach system allows all the hydraulic couplers for one solid motion right there, but then also allows for quicker just disconnect of the loader itself. So say you are one of those in the snow country and you're putting your blower on for the season, you can get the loader off. Or say you're mowing with your mid-mount mower and you don't want to put divots in your grass, it really allows quick disconnect of those loaders.
And the skid steer coupler or the 2-lever quick attach?
2-lever quick coupler. Standard on the LXs, absolutely. Yep.
That's very nice, very nice. Bo, these tires look different than all the other ones I've seen and have a K embossed in them.
Right, you know, so you would think a new tractor series would be enough, but not for farm machinery. So, you know, we at Kubota have had a really good relationship with our friends over at Titan, and we're excited to introduce the next iteration of our partnership with them. So this is Titan's new R4 tire offering. It's their Track Loader 2, replacing their outgoing Track Loader tire, which has been a legendary tire for them. Now, what's great about this tire, one, is it's not just a new looking tire. It's gonna have upgraded benefits as well. Better road handling, better durability, and better clean out as well between the lugs. So one, it's a better tire, but yeah, you notice some special Ks on there. So like I said, this is going to be unique to Kubota for the next 2 years, exclusive with us. And to really showcase our partnership with each other for the first time in the industry, we're going to have both logos on there. So you're going to have Titan mixed with the Kubota oval Ks, both on the sidewall, the lugs, and even in the center. So if the conditions are right, you'll literally leave some oval Ks.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Very nice.
Yeah, Ken, I mean, you've been doing this for years.
I've been grooving my tires for years.
Called it siping your tires.
Where's my royalties?
There you go.
Ken, you look good in orange.
Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you. I like it. Very roomy, lots of headroom. Of course, I'm short, so I don't need much anyway.
But yeah, I mean, that's what's great about the LX tractor, right? You know, it's a big enough tractor with good enough specifications to do a wide variety of things, but it's still that compact size to really get into those areas, right? Whether you're feeding the horses in the horse stalls in the barn, you can get in there. You know, it's a really nice, versatile tractor.
And I presume that the improved transmission is going to make the cab a little bit quieter too.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's significantly quieter. It's a nice upgrade for sure.
Now, is Kubota's offering a radio package, or is this user?
So yeah, if you feel like you want a radio in there, you can absolutely put one in there. Absolutely offering that.
If you feel like you want a radio, Ken.
Yeah, you have to have a radio.
Hey, you got some new L02 tractors as well.
We do.
Let's go take a look
Let's
at them.
take a look.
Ah, nice seat. You improved the suspension. Now, Bo, last year you showed us the new L3302, 3902, and one of the big questions I had was, well, what about the 25 and the 47?
Yeah, I just didn't want to give away everything and take the glory away from this year.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, so we
Stringing
wanted
us along a little
We
bit.
We had to string you along, Tim. But yeah, so this year we're proud to showcase the full lineup now with the standard Ls. So the 25 horsepower and now the 48 horsepower L02 series. So legendary tractors for us. It's what Kubota has built itself on. These are fantastic tractors, fantastic just performing, and it's to make a legendary tractor just that much better.
So this one's a gear drive, but on the hydrostatic, you've actually moved the brakes from the right to the left again, so you can.
Yeah, so just like with the 33 and 39, the 25 horsepower HST transmission does get that new independent PTO switch. So big thing, especially for first-time operators who have never really operated a piece of equipment. Just makes it that much easier for them to use. And so yes, you're right. Because of that, we're able to ditch the clutch pedal on the left-hand side, relocate those brakes just for a more spacious deck.
Now, does the gear transmission, does it have independent PTO as well?
It does not. So it still
Still
has
does
it.
not.
Yeah. So it still has the same PTO that it's had.
This being quite an economical tractor, what kind of price are we looking at for a 2501 gear tractor, the entry level here?
So, it really kind of depends on how you configure it, what tire offerings are you using, are you buying implements with it? Yeah. So you're going to be looking at, that low 20s, just depending on what I would say is, go visit the local Kubota dealer of choice, and they'll be able to hook you up with all your pricing questions.
If you order by midnight tonight,
Yeah, right,
you might
right,
be able
right.
to get a little bit better deal.
Did I get a toaster oven too?
Yeah. Maybe we should, right? Maybe we should.
So this loader, pin on is standard, and the quick attach, the 2-lever quick attach is optional.
So no, it really just kind of depends which route you want to go. So this tractor, the LA526, isn't a new loader for us. We've been putting this loader on the 2501s for the last year, but there's two different loaders that you could put on this tractor. There's an LA526, which is the one that you see here, which comes standard with the quick coupler, but there is a LA526 FL, which is the pin-on bucket.
FL, okay. And the 525 loader was gone.
Yeah, so the 526 replaced the 525 about a year ago.
Now, does the 526 FL, does it change anything back here?
No.
Okay, so all of your loaders are easy to remove here.
Correct, yeah, so they're all going to be that quick disconnect front loaders for easy access on and off.
If you want more details on the updated L02 series, we went into a lot more depth last year on the 33 and 39 because those were all new features, and so this is kind of just an extension of that with the other two models in the range. The 48 horsepower, I guess you squeezed one more horsepower out. I assume the engine's still about the same.
Yep, that would be a good assumption, but hey, if we can have more power out of it, might as well.
More power. Bo, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Bo.
It's nice to see new products coming out every year.
Yeah, it's fun. It keeps me busy.
Well, like we've been doing this season, I'm not gonna let you go with just the sales pitch. We appreciate Bo. Bo does a great job. But in this case especially, I feel like I have some extra analysis to add. After all, we've got one of the LX series tractors, so I think it's be good for us to kind of talk a little bit about the new series and well, maybe even a little background. Let's start there. I don't think anyone would deny what I'm going to say here in just a moment. The LX3310 came along because of a particularly bad tractor in the Kubota lineup. Probably one of the worst Kubotas ever built. I really don't think anyone would argue with me there. The B3350 had an enormous amount of engine problems. Kubota felt the need to replace the B3350, but to totally distance itself from that line. I get it. So this tractor, the LX3310, turns out to be mainly a B3350 with a different engine, but they renamed it to the LX, I think partially to kind of distance themselves from that prior design. And yes, the LX3310 just came out a couple of years ago. I got mine very early on in the LX3310 schedule, and yeah, it's only lasted a couple of years. So I'm certain that they were in a hurry to get it out, to try to get it on the market as quickly as possible, but I do wish they would have waited and combined these two updates into one new tractor that would have been more significant than the original LX3310. Of course, I'm going to feel that way, right? Because I have the old version, right? Everybody that gets an upgrade right after they've purchased or soon after they've purchased feels that way. There's no question about that. Now, let's talk specifically about the LX20 series. I see it as a pretty big upgrade, actually. The transmission, to me, on the LX10 tractor is, I can't say it's weak spot, but let me just say it's the item that I felt like needed the upgrade the most. I can't say weak spot because I'm not saying that it's going to mechanically fail. I just thought that the travel speeds were too slow. I've had issue, I've pointed out on this channel several times, with the lunge. When you press the forward pedal, it will start to move and then it will lunge forward or backwards. And that is somewhat difficult to get used to. I hope that's gone in the LX20 series. Obviously, I haven't had a chance to try it. It'll be interesting to hear someone else try it. What I've heard, though, is this whine was the #1 reason that they wanted to do the upgrade. On the open station tractor, the whine, it's not that big of a deal. But watch GP Outdoors, one of my YouTuber friends. If you'll watch GP Outdoors and hear him while he's running the snowblower, that whine in the cab is quite loud and quite obnoxious, and I can see why they needed to improve that. So I'm looking forward to seeing how much quieter the cab is on the 3520. I think this is going to make a big improvement. Now we step on up to the 4020. Both of these tractors, can have a mid-mount mower, and they are the largest tractors in the Kubota lineup that support a mid-mount mower. I don't think Kubota's had a 40 horsepower tractor with a mid-mount mower, at least in the last several years. I don't have that much history with the Kubota lineup. That's one of the reasons I wanted to get this, was to get more familiar with the Kubota lineup, and it has really helped. But anyway, now they've got a 40 horsepower tractor with a mid-mount mower in the LX4020. Now, we kept Bo going on some other topics, and so he wasn't able to get into a few other features that this machine added. He did mention how the loader is wider. The mounts are wider. You can see how narrow it is on this tractor. It makes it hard to drive into the loader if you've got the loader off. Of course, a lot of people probably never remove it, but I think wider is better, like the old Pontiac commercial. So I think that's an improvement there. But when I got the LX3310, one of the things, they kept saying it was a premier tractor, a higher end tractor, right? This is their full featured, their higher end. And I just didn't see that, right? Features that I would see in competitive models, even more entry-level tractors, I wasn't seeing here. One example is auto throttle, right? There is no auto throttle on this tractor. Well, it's been added on the 3520 and 4020. Likewise, they've added they call it a memory throttle, right? Where you can, on the joystick arm, I think you can see it in the two red buttons in the video there, you can press those buttons to go to a set RPM. So let's say you've got one set fairly high and one set fairly low for different loader operations. You can quickly toggle those back and forth rather than having to reach down and pull the throttle lever. So there's some more advanced features in this tractor. I think it's beginning to advance more and truly take that spot that they intend for it in the more premium line. Now, it does have extendable draft links and some other items that do kind of move it into the premium lineup. So I think that's a very positive thing about the new LX20 line. Now, how about just a little bit of gossip and rumors? I had a Kubota salesperson that actually found me in another booth, and we got to talking about the LX20 line. Since I say Kubota salesperson, obviously there's a lot of them, so I think that's pretty anonymous. He said that Kubota had received a lot of feedback about the Coyote CX series having a quieter cab than the Kubota LX series. So he said that there was a lot of effort made to to get that whine out of there, to get that cab quieter so it would be quieter than the Coyote CX series, which I find kind of fascinating because I do think there's a bizarre relationship between these two companies. No, they don't like each other at all, but Coyote does everything they can to copy Kubota's designs and to kind of one-up them at every turn. And you know, from the outside I find it kind of funny and it makes me chuckle, but I'm certain that inside the companies there's a lot of frustration going on there. So yeah, he said that the LX cab is now quieter than the Coyote CX series. So I thought you guys might find that interesting. A couple of other new features they've added. They've got an optional brush guard. It's black. They show it in the brochure. Now, I just use my 511 Designs brush guard. Yeah, you can use code TTWT. 511 Designs with a Z.com. Coupon code TTWT gets you 5% discount. I like what I've got here, but there is a new optional one from Kubota that you might find interesting. Also, the 3-point hitch lift capacity. This one's fascinating to me. I'm surprised they improved this, but it went from, I believe, 1,670 some pounds to almost 2,000 pounds. The LX was already ahead of the Deere 2R series in 3-point lift capacity. I haven't done a specific test, but anecdotally I can tell you that it lifts more because of some items that I've had around here that I've tried with both of them. And so to see that increased, it must be because they've moved it up to a 40 horsepower machine at this point on the higher end, so they felt like they needed that higher lift capacity. What we have found is most of the time the Kubota tractors lift more than their Deere counterparts on the 3-point hitch and a little less than their Deere counterparts on the front end loader. That's just a general rule. It may not apply all the time, but that's just what we have noticed. Just to summarize, I would say the new transmission's the biggest feature. With the increased travel speeds, it looks a little beefier. The axle housings, all the transmission housing looks a little beefier. So if they got rid of the lunge, the whine, that's got to be the biggest thing on this new tractor series. Hey, we want to thank Yankum Ropes joining us as a new sponsor. Go to yankum.com, use code TTWT, get yourself a 5% discount. That's right, we're going to be showing Yankum Ropes in some ways that you might not have seen on other channels, just like we do everything, right? You can kind of begin to think about how that might work out. But meanwhile, if you've been thinking about a rope, go to yankum.com, code TTWT. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. He who was seated on the throne said, "I am making everything new." Then he said, "Write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true." Ken, you ready?
Yeah.
Can we see you? Can you see over the tractor, Ken?
Stop with the short jokes.
Stand tall. I'm standing tall.
Ken, this tractor is so tall that you know.